morning, or good evening, or good afternoon, or wherever you are. My name is Willie Lawson, and welcome to the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of FightbackMedia.com, 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 and FightbackMedia. Hang on a second. TV.com. Let me turn these headphones down because I'm not using them, and they're making a terrible racket. Okay. We talked about this the last time. I think I was with you. The danger of what has happened. And you may even see these images right here in your neighborhood. Now, if you see this, this isn't a this isn't out of disrespect. This is a signal that the fort or wherever the country is in distress. Now, and you'll say, well, Willie, no one's really doing that. Well, I got news for you. Yeah, they are. Yes, they are. I got a picture of this in my email box today. This is a home in Wisconsin, so this is starting to happen all over the place, and especially after the verdict in the Donald Trump hush money case. And I thought myself, as this was going on, and it's sort of playing out, that the worst, the left always oversteps. They always, let me say this again, always, did you hear what I said? Always overstep. They always go too far. And they do it intentionally, because once you take ground, even if you have to give some up, you've gained ground. You know what I'm saying? Even if you overstep, you can go this far, and then you decide to go this far, and even if you have to back up some, you're ahead of where you stopped. That methodology is in the book called Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky. Check it out. It is. So he makes no bones about just go as far as you can go, even if you have to give some territory back. Now, what's happened here is that they've gone way too far in this instance. And what they want to do now, and I knew this would happen. We saw a jump in Trump's fundraising. At this point, his last election, he had raised about $16 million. The day after the verdict was read, 24 hours after the verdict was read, they announced that they had raised $52 million. One day, in one 24-hour period. And that kind of stuff doesn't go unnoticed. It just doesn't go unnoticed. So this guy, who is a representative out of Minnesota, his name is Dean Phillips, Dean B. Phillips, thinks here's what ought to happen. And he posted this on X. Donald Trump is a serial liar, cheater, and philanderer, a 6-time declarer of corporate bankruptcy, and an instigator of an insurrection. So Dean Phillips is not a fan of Donald Trump. Is that probably, apparent here? And he says that he thrives on portraying himself as a victim. Huh. He's not a fan. But he also writes that Governor Kathy Hochul should pardon him. I know that's out on the surface. You're scratching your head going, huh? What? Well, it's because Dean Phillips sees what I see. And it might be the right play in the long run. It might be. It may very well be the right play in the long run. Because what you don't want to do, I think, is make Donald Trump a martyr, do you? I mean, do you really want to make Donald Trump a martyr? Because here's what's happening. Hang on, give me a second. There we go. Let me get the other one up here. So you think pardoning is stupid? Making him a martyr over a payment to a porn star. Election charges are entirely different. Is energizing his base, generating record sums of campaign cash, and will likely result in an electoral boost. But he's gaining. I told you guys, if they make him a sympathetic character. Now, the deal is that Philip thinks that Trump is trying to make himself a sympathetic character. He is not. The actions of the left are making him sympathetic to a lot of people in the country. This country loves an underdog story. This country loves a comeback story. We always have. We always have. We love the guy who was the 6th round draft pick from Michigan, right? The skinny guy. And then sometime later, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. We love the guy who didn't make his high school basketball team. Because you know what now? So you know what that dude now is? He's the GOAT. You know what we don't like? We don't like the people who got shot out of a cannon and were ahead first. And everybody thought was great. Yeah, we don't really like that dude, LeBron James. We don't. But the kid who didn't make his high school basketball team, who has 6 championships, we love that guy. We love the guy who was a 6th round draft pick, who nobody thought very highly of, gets his opportunity, and has a handful of Super Bowl rings. We love that guy. Why? Because that's who we are in America. So, having 6 bankruptcies, and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and using the system for your own good and doing what you have to win, coming back from being destroyed, we like that guy. We do. And Donald Trump may indeed be the anti-hero. He may very well be the anti-hero. But America loves the anti-hero. We do. That's why we like Deadpool, right? And I think that a lot of people on the left miss that. Absolutely miss that. Absolutely. So, does he have a point? So what if he gets pardoned? So that removes. See, this is where it's slippery. This is where I think Dean, although his first gut reaction is maybe correct, but maybe not. Let's say Governor Hochul shows up Monday morning, pardons Donald Trump. Why? For political reasons only. So they could remove the convicted felon label, right? Pardoned him, doesn't exist. But the fact of the matter is that everything leading up to that did exist. And then you know what happens? Trump's base gets bigger. Bigger. Not because he got pardoned, because he won. He wins again. The only way the left wins in this is to do it fair and square and win. Straight up. Campaign, win. Now, some of you are saying, well, that already happened. Nobody believes you. And why don't people believe you? It's because we're all brainwashed. Trump is my leader. Trump is my leader. Trump is my leader. No. Oh, it's because most of us have eyes of our own and have big questions about how some of the processes went. We do. We also have And it didn't help that places like here on Facebook and on YouTube, shut down any talk of there might be anomalies in the system in 2020. Shut them down. That didn't help. It did not. The lack of open dialogue and the lack of transparency is what caused your problem. Zuckerberg here on Facebook, if you are watching the stream here on Facebook, or the folks at Google, if you're watching this on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. That's the problem. There's your problem. So what do you think? What do you think? Write in the comments. Do you think that Trump ought to be pardoned? Because I'm telling you, and maybe Hochul knows this, that if he gets pardoned, it's going to be Katie bar the door, baby. I mean, people aren't gonna stop, because we love a winner, right? We love an underdog that wins, a guy who comes back from the ashes and crushes his opponents. We love that guy. I told you guys in 2016 that Trump was the ground was fertile for a dude like Trump. It's because how we approach things, how we try, how especially on the left, try to manipulate things instead of just letting things play out. The idea that the American public is stupid, so they must be manipulated, that makes the ground fertile for a dude like Trump. It just does. And 12 years later, you're still dealing with it, You're still dealing with it. 8 years later, you're still dealing with it. 10 years later from when he came down the escalator, we're still dealing with it. Instead of just letting it play out, letting the American people vote for the person that they want, and suffering the consequences of their votes, whatever, just let it play out. But there's too much power and there's too much money for people, for those in power not to want to manipulate. Is that correct? It's amazing that people cheat at all sorts of stuff. In NASCAR, what do they say in NASCAR? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? Everybody's trying to get to the very edge, within the, within the very, very edge of what the rule is, right? Everybody's trying to get that advantage. That's something, unfortunately, it also is uniquely American, I think, or uniquely human. Just let it play out, straight up. If Trump wins, then you have 4 years to build a candidate and build a base and to build an argument. Easy. Easy. What you don't do is is burn the whole damn thing down. And decide that you're going to come in later and save it all. Just let it play out. The American public will pick their leader and figure it out. We always have 230 plus years, 235 plus years. And we did it without the internet. For the most part, we did it without even encyclopedias in everybody's houses. We did it with newspapers, or the lack of newspapers. We did it with everybody going to church on Sunday. We did it, and we still can. I believe that. I do. I am not thinking that this is not accurate, because I believe that it is, to a degree. But what I texted back to the person who sent me that, I said, we have got our work cut out for us. You and I have got our work cut out for us. Anyway, we got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We will see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.